Hi guys, it's Tamara. Thanks for watching my channel. I feel really called to talk about it because it's not something that gets spoken about a lot, and it's kind of had the hugest, most profound effect in my life. That is basically a divorce, getting a divorce. I experienced this in my 20s, in my late 20s. If you're going through a breakup or a divorce or even a separation from someone that you really, really love. I mean, I was with a guy for 6 years. For me, it was devastating when it happened. But the reason I want to talk to you about it now is because it's actually been the greatest blessing of my life. I'm not saying this to be mean to him or to be shady or anything like that. And I'm definitely not promoting divorce, because if you can work through your relationship and grow with your partner, that is ideal. But if it's a toxic relationship, then get out. Well, I actually didn't get out. The divorce was served to me. I went through the most and it felt like the end of my entire life. But let me tell you, after the way I dealt with it, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. It actually led me to myself. I feel like I was living a robotic, dead version of myself. I didn't even know who the fuck I was when I was married. I was married at like 25, I think. And for me, it was, now when I look at it, I realize what a social pressure it was to get married. I felt like it's something I had to do by 25 as an Indian girl. As you get older, it's like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with her? And so I kind of bought the dream that everyone sold me. And let me tell you something, getting married before you're ready is the worst thing you can do. When I was 25, I didn't know who the hell I was. I was taken aback by someone who I found to be very confident. And what I found happened for me was that I just kind of hid behind him the entire time. I had low self-esteem. I didn't really have my own opinions. And I allowed myself to kind of hide behind his identity. So number one, you want to think about, like, if you're in a relationship or you are married and you're feeling like you don't really know who you are, it's really important that you slow down and figure out your value systems, who you are, what you want in a relationship, what you want within yourself. That leads me to the second part of why I feel like my divorce was the best thing ever, is I feel like I know that I did not love myself when I met him. I expected him to love me so much that it filled the void in me in loving myself. I only understand that now that I'm outside of the outside of that relationship. And when he divorced me at the time, I felt like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do? My life's over. I sat like that for about 6 months thinking like, gosh, like, I don't even know who I am. Like, I failed my community. I failed my family. I'm a failure in myself. But the reason I feel like I felt that way now is because so much of me depended on that marriage. So much of me depended on the social status of being married. It's so toxic to be in that place. Now I always say to clients, you have to love yourself enough. You just need to be happy enough that when you're in a relationship, should it fail, you're still okay. You're going to be fine because you have a life of your own. You love yourself without other people. I just did not. I actually did not like myself at all. I want to just speak a little bit about what I went through when I got separated. It was a lot of depression. It was a lot of grief. It was a lot of crying. It really felt like the end of my world, but it basically felt like rock bottom for me. It may sound dramatic to other people because I know there's worse things out there to happen, but in my life, everything is relative. And in my life, that meant, the marriage meant so much to me that when it was over, I really fell into a depression for about, like, I think it was 6 months. I did not leave my home. For me, it was rock bottom. I questioned my existence. I questioned everything about the point of being here on earth. Like, that's how dark and terrible it was for me. What it showed me was that rock bottom is such a perfect, amazing, beautiful place to be, because when you are rock bottom, you have nothing to lose anymore. And you just kind of sit there and you think, okay, I'm burnt down to the ground. How do I want to build my new life? Because there's two things you can do. When you reach rock bottom, you either give up or you come back with a bang. And I asked myself that question. I was like, do you want to end it, or do you want to come back and be completely great? I know it sounds very morbid, but I'm just being absolutely honest with you guys. Like, that is the conversations I was having with myself at the time. And I just decided to be great. And with being great allowed me to take a step back, look at my life and be like, okay, everything is burnt to the ground at this point. Everything, all the plans I had, all of that is gone to shit, basically. So, what am I going to do and who do I want to be around? I started to look at every aspect in my life and I thought, how do I want to show up in life? How do I want to pick my friends? How do I want to hang out? How do I want to socialize? How do I want to work? How do I want people to feel when I talk to them? What type of relationships do I want to be in? I basically started to build my life from the bottom up and intentionally pick the direction of each aspect of my life. And this sounds easier said than done. And obviously I'm a life coach now because that's what I studied afterwards. But I feel like being rock bottom allowed me to choose and be really intentional with all aspects of my life that I wouldn't have had the chance to do was I in the relationship, living like in my comfort zone. So, wow, a rock bottom place is amazing because it can only go up from there and you get to really choose and create your reality as you move along. Also, my life after divorce has showed me that there's a lot of pressure from society to not be single, and I don't understand it. Like, I just don't understand it. What is the problem with being single? I don't get it. It's scary because I feel maybe people are afraid for you. They want you to have someone to be with. They want you to have a family. I also think that sometimes people are not genuine enough. They just want you to be in a relationship because that's just the way it is. And why should you be having all this freedom? Well, whatever the case is, whether people are genuine or not, I feel like there's a real pressure to not be single. And I want to let you know that the most powerful thing you can do is to be happy and love yourself by yourself. I never had that superpower before. I always felt like I needed to be in a relationship to be validated by a boyfriend, to be validated by a guy, to be validated in a social circle by being with cool people. And after that, I just took a step back. I went through this process of just falling in love with myself, dating myself, being with myself, sitting out there, having coffee by myself, going to therapy, going to training classes, focusing on my health, my body, just enjoying my own energy to the point where I actually prefer being by myself most of the time. I feel so whole and complete as a person. And that, my friend, is a superpower. Like, if you can be whole and complete and happy by yourself, nothing in life can get you down. It's just such a liberating and powerful place to be. So don't buy into the hype of being pressured to be in a relationship or settling down. Finally, I just want to say that what I've noticed is after my marriage, and I'm dating different guys. I've dated a few guys, nothing serious, but I've been dating a few guys. Right now, I'm just taking a step back. I realized that every time I date someone, it's like a mirror. So I feel like the person you're dating or that you call into your life is sort of like a mirror to who you are right then and there. And I started to see where my issues were lying by looking at the issues I was having with the person. So, for example, if I felt unworthy because the guy would say certain things, I started to realize it's not really him. What in me feels unworthy that I'm getting triggered by him? So, if that makes sense, like the person that you start dating or attract into your life will start to be a mirror of where you're at. Do you need to love yourself a little bit more? Do you need to work on your self-worth? Do you need to work on abandonment issues? I found a lot of the time that I would project my fear on the person I was dating. For sure, the person can be a shitty person, but I feel the last couple of guys I've dated, even though it didn't work out for whatever reason, we parted gracefully and it wasn't ugly. I learned so much from each relationship. It's actually like I call them and I thank them. A few of them I'm still friends with today, and I'm like, thank them for all the lessons that I've learned and the journey that it's been. And it's really important to do that. So guys, that's it from me. I know that was a whole rant on my life and it's like TMI. I'm probably gonna go home and like be so anxious that I've just shared so much with you guys, but I really just wanted to share where I'm at right now. You don't have to agree with me, and I feel like I'm not for everyone, but I'm just sharing my journey as life is unfolding for me. That's basically what I'm going to use my platform for. And if you're going through a separation or a divorce, I'd love to know your feedback. Like, what have you been going through? And just know that you're not alone. It happens to the best of us. There's so much power with being alone. There's so much bravery in asking for help. And just do the inner work, guys. If you need a life coach, find a life coach. If you need therapy, get therapy. If you need to immerse yourself in just alone time just to find out who you are, like, go for it. It's never too late to change your life, and always just love yourself first. Okay, guys, well, that's it from me. I love you so much. Thanks for watching.